Best scenes, Therese. Exterior storefronts of 4th Avenue, later that evening. Therese strolls down the street, camera in hand. She approaches Joseph's furniture store. The sign alit with his name, and pauses to watch Carol through the window tidying up for the close. Carol busies herself, but there's nothing else to do. Watching from the outside, Therese sees Joseph come into the room from the back. Carol sits on the edge of a sofa while Joseph stands near her. He leans in and takes Carol's hand from her lap, and she lets him. Therese raises her camera and snaps a photo. Exterior, New York City street. Just later. Carol and Therese walk home together.
What do you think of Paris?
Paris is eternal, or is that Rome?
Good for strolling?
Ideal, full of frames.
Carol makes a square with her fingers and peers one-eyed through to Therese's face.
I wonder if I'll ever want to create anything again.
What brought this on?
Therese shakes her head, ineloquent. She looks off.
How do you expect to create anything if you get your experiences secondhand?
Interior, Carol and Therese's apartment, night. The two women sit on the couch facing each other. Unlike the previous night, the curtains are drawn, so the city buildings are unseen. They drink highball. Carol is open and amiable. Therese is reserved.
Joseph is absolutely determined to modernize, even though the moneyed of New York are stuffy old people who want a place filled with mahogany. Artistically, he might be right, but financially, it's dreary. But doesn't believe me.
Carol pauses, picking her words.
He asked me to come with him to Denmark for a few weeks this summer. He wants to tour factories and import a new line for the fall.
Therese looks at Carol with assertion. They've hit the spot in the conversation that will draw her out.
Will you go?
I don't think I can refuse. I had to talk him out of terrible choices like a $100 chair made of canvas and bamboo. And he knows it. The summer's a slow season. James and Henry can maintain the store.
So it's decided.
More or less. Can you spare me?
Carol runs her finger down Therese's side, from underarm to waist. Therese straightens. Carol is trying to win her over, and she refuses to be charmed. This is a routine between them.
It just seems big.
Well, some things are always vague, darling.
You know he's interested in more than your financial advice?
Well, that's part of the trade. Part of my trade, for better or worse. Men have always wanted me on their arm. It's nothing more.
Pause. Carol takes Therese's hand and Therese closes her eyes and nods slowly. Therese plays with Carol's fingers as she begins to speak.
I wanted to talk to you about something important.
Yes, of course, darling.
Therese swallows and traces the pattern in the pillow for inspiration. Carol takes her hand back, sits up straight, and delivers a playfully inquisitive look.
I still want to have children. At least one.
Carol's back bows as she leans back into the davenport. She looks for her cigarette case on the side table, leans over to grab it. She offers one to Therese, who takes it. Carol lights their cigarettes with a match, then moves off. They look each other over during this ritual.
You're about as thin as this match, but given the right conditions, you could burn the house down.
Rindy is wonderful, but we only see her twice a month, and she'll never be my daughter.
Suddenly cold, Carol shivers.
Of course. It's perfectly reasonable. Do you want a husband?
Therese goes to Carol and touches her waist.
What do you think?
Well, are you prepared for a lifetime of sneers? A husband spells that's respectability.
I'm not afraid. I shouldn't have to ask your permission. You are a mother, and I wish to be. Would you really deny me?
Carol takes a swallow from her drink and turns to the window, bringing her cigarette. She looks at the curtain.
It seems I can't. Well then, the solution is perfectly clear. Seduce an innocent young man until your needs are met, then discard him. It happens to women all the time.
I wouldn't know where to start.
Oh, it's not mysterious. Your body knows what to do. First, you need a target. I can see you already have one in mind.
Therese gets up and walks over to Carol.
Would you be ready to become a mom again? Rindy's nearly 10.
Carol softens, surprised and gratified.
Oh, Mother. I thought I would be the smelly, smeared lipstick old auntie.
They laugh together and the tension breaks. They've exchanged hostages. Carol's trip for Therese's wish.
No, I want you to be a mother. but I'll smear your lipstick if you like.
She leans in with her arms around Carol. Later, alone, Carol smokes, looking out the window holding the curtain parted. She's nervous and unsettled, gazing down on the city in a mute conversation with the world as it is.